Hey everyone, welcome to another great episode of Build the RedBull RB7. Today, issue 7, we'll be working with our first Pirelli for our front left tyre, our rim and Oz Racing stickers from issue 3. Okay, so the book here says to sand back and brush off any excess left by the moulds that the rims were made in, and then apply the rubber, and then finally on the last page the sticker. Now I find it a little easier with this one here to put the stickers on first. No real reason why, but I just found it easier putting them on first. Alright, so first we're going to open up our stickers. Okay, try not to get any bends into them, so we'll open it up with a knife, scissors or scalpel. Okay. Now, on my first rim, alright, I cut them with scissors, the Oz Racing stickers. Okay, I couldn't get that close to the writing without risking cutting it off. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to get our metal ruler, going to grab our scalpel, alright, or Stanley knife, and just trim it off and try and get as close to the writing as you can for best finish. Unlike the Infinity ones on the rear wing, these ones don't have any dotted lines, which is good. Alright, so we'll just work with one Oz Racing sticker here at the moment. Now the good thing is with this, right, because they are so small, if they do get ruined by any chance, it is a bit of a hassle, but it isn't. Alright, all you have to do is just wait until the next rim issue comes out, which I believe is issue 9, okay, for the left rear tyre, and it will come with Oz Racing stickers. Now, I'm getting double of everything, or double of the tyres and the rims, so I'll have spare Oz stickers, but if yours get damaged in any way, you just wait for the next issue to come out, and yeah, just double up if you have to. I know it's an expense, but you know, gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, so peel off the backing, right, and just try and get it as close as you can to the back of the rim. All right. Alright, so it's pretty much just one at the bottom and one at the top. Alright, so just cut off this last bit of backing. Okay, peel it off. Make sure it's first off the right way around. Okay. Get it close to the back as you can and stick it down. Make sure you're getting all the air bubbles out. Alright. So basically, when you spin it around, it should say Oz Racing. Alright. If you've done it wrong, Racing will be up one way, and then when you turn it around, it'll be the other way around. So make sure when you spin it, the Oz Racing stays the same way up. And that's the first part of it done. Well, according to the book, that's the last part done. Right? So now just have a quick glance over your rim. Okay, if you see any little bumps and abrasions, just address them lightly with either the scalpel or, as the book says, a bit of sandpaper, and dust it off with the brush. Why you'd need a brush, I've got no idea. I can't use a tissue or your sleeve or whatever. It can't be that hard to get all the dust off. And if you need to sand that much off, then they've done something wrong with the moulding, in my opinion. Alright, so like I did with this one, just popped it straight in. Okay, start off with the top and then push it down on sort of like an angle, so it sort of squeezes in. Okay, now you come to the rear and just sort of poke it under, slowly working your way around. Okay, make sure it all sits sort of flush, and then come back to the other side and just try and bring it back over that lip. Okay, until it's all completely done. Okay, so there we go. Now that bit's pretty much done. Alright, now I'll use my spare tyre for this. Okay, now what the book wants you to do, right, is peel back the front, okay, and just run a little bit of glue, you know, inside that groove there. Okay, so when it drops in and folds in, it'll glue itself down. Alright, so it doesn't come off. I'm going to leave one of my tyres glued and one of the tyres unglued. Okay, because I have spare tyres, I'll be changing the rubbers around. And just in case it's hard to get the tyres off once it's glued down, I'm going to leave one unglued and one glued. Okay, so we'll do it like the book says, because that's what we love doing. Alright, just peel it back a little bit, drop in some glue, providing that your glue hasn't dried, because it's been some time since we've had to use glue. Alright, you can go all the way around it and try and, you know, cover the whole thing, but honestly it doesn't really bother me that much. I'm just sort of doing it around 4 points of contact, so I'm doing a bit there, bit there, bit there, and bit there. And once that dries, it should be enough to hold it. So grab a tissue, alright, just try and wipe back the excess a bit, okay, just in case you got any spillage. You don't want to ruin the final product of your tyre. Okay, if you want, you can flip it over and do it at the back. Now you can either do this right now like I am, okay, or you can wait until your front side's dry, so that way when you're pulling it across, it's not warping the other side. Now the back's not really honestly that important, because you're not really going to see it as much as the sides, but it still helps to just give it a bit of love. Like, you got 7 days until the next issue comes out. Okay, now just sit that aside and let it dry, and we're all done. Okay, so that's our front left tyre, our front left Pirelli. Now I'll be honest with you, 4 sets of Pirelli tyres. Okay, I've only got 2 rims, but when they bring out the right fronts, I'll get 2 right fronts, so that means I'll have double of the fronts, and then I'll have sets of the tyres, okay, for replacements. Now, I know it's 7 days until the next issue comes out, so it'd be 7 days until my next building update comes out on YouTube. But what I'm planning on doing is making up a nice sort of tyre rack. So if you are like me and you're going to have multiple tyres, okay, because if you do use them, they will wear out. So you're going to eventually need replacements, okay? So I'm going to get the replacements now before they all get bought and there's none left. Alright, so I'm going to make up a nice little tyre rack to hold my spare tyres. Okay, I'm going to paint it up in the Red Bull colours, and if you'd like to see how that's done, I'll upload the video fairly soon with that, and I'll also put up the specs of the measurements and all that, and the tools and the materials used to create it. So before we close off the show here, we'll just have a look through the issue. Okay, so it's the end of the Michael Schumacher era. Okay, a bit here on Fernando Alonso, 2006 championship. Okay, a bit on Red Bull in 2006. Bit of the Monaco circuit. Everyone loves Monaco. Yeah, the map, where it's located. Okay, bit of the old cars here, bit of history. The same subscriber thing. I still haven't received any of my stuff. A bit of shock absorbers for RC cars. Now that would have been handy, to be honest, in the issue that the shock absorber come in. Okay, so they've given us the shock absorber, and then in the book it tells you about the tyres, and then in the book they give you the tyres and tell you about shock absorbers. It just makes no sense. Okay, so yeah, we'll live with that. Not too sure what that is. Hydraulic dampening. Bit more about shock absorbers. Okay. Springs and whatnot. And then here's our great issue. So they got the Pirelli, right, and then they've marked the foam as part 2, but it's pre-installed. So realistically, it's only one part. So I don't know why they're counting it down as 2 parts. And then yeah, so the instructions, as I said, you know, that there, they wanted you to do that first, but I did the stickering first. Okay. If you can get one of those mats, it'd probably be handy, or just grab a wooden board like I have. Yeah. So today I got issue 4 again, which was the one that had the shock absorber. So now I'll have 2 of those shock absorbers, but mostly the only reason I got it was to get another vial of shock oil, just for the sake of having shock oil. There's really no point behind me getting extra shock oil, but here we are. Okay guys, so I'll upload this and I'll get started in making the tyre rack, and I'll upload it very shortly. Okay, thanks guys.